International cinema returns to the Lido as the Venice Film Festival sets sail, despite the Covid-19 pandemic. We take a musical journey to Marseille, and Gaël Faye's personal telling of a childhood in wartime Burundi gets a big screen adaptation. Well, that's all coming up in today's programme. We're starting off in Italy, though, where on the Lido, the show must go on. The Mostra in Venice is the first major international film festival to go ahead since the Covid-19 outbreak, and it's already underway. The world's oldest festival has issued certain safety guidelines for its 10 days of screenings, and it has scaled down the scope of events somewhat. France 24's culture editor, Yves Jackson, is there for us, and it's a very different atmosphere at the Mostra this year.
With face masks, gels and social distancing, this will be 10 days of film festival like we've never seen before. It's a symbolic moment though, as it marks the reopening of the cultural world after 6 months of everything being shut down.
Ce sera un festival exceptionnel dans une situation extraordinaire. On n'était pas sûr que c'était la bonne décision de faire le festival, mais à un certain point, on a dit il faut le faire. On ne peut pas renoncer à le faire parce qu'on a besoin de recommencer, on a besoin de donner un signe d'optimisme et de solidarité à l'industrie du cinéma.
With travel restrictions in place, this year's festival is unlikely to have its usual dose of Hollywood glamour, but this does remain a very international festival with more than 50 countries represented and more than 60 new films will be shown. One of them is called The Human Voice. It's from the Spanish director Pedro Almodovar. It's his first film in the English language and it stars Tilda Swinton. It's based on a French play from 1928 by Jean Cocteau. It's called The Human Voice. Take a look. Some films to look out for at this year's Venice Film Festival include the road movie Nomadland from the director Chloe Zhao, starring the Oscar winner Frances McDormand. There's also a documentary about the climate activist Greta Thunberg from Nathan Grossman. Women are certainly in the spotlight this year. 8 of the 18 directors in competition are women. That compares to 2 last year and only 1 in 2018. And the head of the jury this year is Kate Blanchett. You might remember a few years ago at the Cannes Film Festival, she led the Me Too Women's March on the red carpet, calling for more parity in the film world.
Yves Jackson reporting for us there from Venice. Well, back here in France, concerts and live music feel a long way off since the coronavirus crisis saw all performances cancelled. But those looking to get their fix in another form can now head to the Museum of European and Mediterranean Civilizations in Marseille. The MUCEM, which reopened in June, currently has an exhibition dedicated to music and oral traditions from the Middle East. Florence Villeminot and Samia Meteni went to check it out.
L'Orient Sonore, an exhibit that pays tribute to music from the Middle East, is a voyage for your eyes and ears. For museum-goers, a cell phone and a QR code are a gateway into the wonderful world of classical Arabic music.
La musique classique arabe a été enregistrée par les compagnies de disques depuis le début du XXe siècle, vers 1903. Mais à partir de 1930, cette musique a été complètement oubliée, totalement oubliée, pour diverses raisons. Mais heureusement qu'on a les disques et qu'on a pu récupérer une quantité importante de ces disques pour pouvoir redonner vie à cette musique.
All in all, some 60 rare discs covering a wide range of styles are on display, including recordings by Egyptian superstar Kulthum, musical treasures that almost sank into oblivion. The exhibit also features 12 video recordings of oral traditions from Iraq, North Africa, and the Gulf. Passed down for generations, these customs are threatened today by political upheaval in the region, as well as the pressure of globalization.
Je trouve ça extrêmement enrichissant parce qu'on découvre aussi des nouveaux timbres de voix, une manière de s'exprimer qui est différente. Et puis, je trouve que ça dépasse tous les stéréotypes aussi qu'on peut découvrir sur certaines de ces régions qui peuvent être en guerre.
Quite loud when you first come in. It's like you hear all at once. But I'm asking myself, that's the purpose of the exhibition, so that you feel like if you're in an Arabian market, you hear like all the, I don't know, all the different sounds.
On a filmé des traditions musicales orales. C'est pour conserver cette tradition qu'on les filme. C'est pour les générations futures voir comment étaient ces traditions pour qu'on puisse les pérenniser au moins par l'image.
This summer, international tourism has been put on hold for many. Visitors can get their travel fix at the MUCEM and discover a threatened cultural heritage along the way.
Now to a story which sold more than 1 million copies after author Gaël Faye put pen to paper and published a semi-autobiographical account of childhood, divorce and Burundi's civil war of the 1990s. Petit Pays was published in 2016 and that book's now been adapted for the big screen. Faye had an active role in the conception of the film to ensure it was as faithful to his words as possible. Erin Agunke tells us more.
Hutus and Tutsis. For Gabriel and his friends, ethnic identity was a grown-up problem.
On va pas se disputer pour des trucs nuls comme ça.
C'est pas des trucs nuls, c'est des trucs importants. Quand t'es Tutsi, t'es Tutsi.
But it's 1993 in Burundi. The assassination of the country's first Hutu president brought tensions between Hutus and Tutsis to a breaking point, dragging even children into the mix.
Papa! Il y a eu des coups de feu. Qu'est-ce qui se passe là? Les militaires ont tué le nouveau président.
Small Country is based on the 2016 novel of the same name. Its author, Franco-Rwandan rapper Gaël Faye, used his own memories to recount from a child's perspective how the genocide tore his family apart. The director, Eric Barbier, relied less on dialogue and more on striking imagery to tell the story, leaving the Small Country author impressed.
Ça a été un choc. Pendant 2 jours, j'ai pas pu parler à Eric, j'avais besoin de digérer. J'avais besoin de me remettre de mes émotions.
Si on ne se protège pas, c'est eux qui vont nous tuer.
Though the events took place over 25 years ago, they remain a sensitive topic for those who lived through them. The film was shot not in Burundi, but in a neighboring country. Gaël Faye doesn't yet feel safe traveling there.
C'est un crève-cœur pour moi de ne pas pouvoir aller au Burundi, de ne pas pouvoir rencontrer le public burundais.
Small Country is an emotional tale of what happens when the innocence of childhood is corrupted by the horrors of war, a tragically universal theme.
The recent lockdown saw us all turning to arts and culture for entertainment while stuck at home, with virtual gallery visits, a raft of new series to stream, and digital downloads keeping us well stocked in music. But there has been a return to more traditional pastimes too, with many people delighted to have more time to read. And bookshops have been feeling the benefits as well. Alison Sargent takes a look.
Elle tourne la tête vers la porte qui s'ouvre et une douleur lui saisit la nuque. Elle ramène sa main au-dessus de son épaule en grimaçant.
Allowing yourself to be transported by the beauty of words, whether from novels, poems, or essays.
Il faut survivre aux maladies.
For some, reading was a necessary outlet during lockdown, a rediscovered pleasure. 3 months on, the habit has stuck.
Plus que l'année dernière, ça m'a vraiment remis. La lecture, c'est vraiment comme un entraînement, c'est comme le sport, en fait, presque. Et donc, ça m'a remis vraiment dans un rythme de lecture.
Mon appartement a beau être rempli de livres, j'ai dû me sentir un peu restreinte, donc c'est vrai que j'en ai acheté beaucoup, oui, après le déconfinement.
It's good news for bookshops, which came out the other side alive and kicking. This owner says the end of lockdown brought about a massive and unexpected rise in sales.
On a une progression de 65% du chiffre d'affaires en juillet, ce qui est relativement exceptionnel pour une librairie qui est installée à cette adresse depuis 10 ans, donc on est vraiment surpris et agréablement surpris par cette augmentation de notre chiffre suite au déconfinement. Oui.
It's a welcome turnaround for the entire sector. Under lockdown, from mid-March to mid-May, sales fell by 95% compared to the same time last year. But from mid-May to mid-July, the trend reversed, and sales rose by 19.6% compared to 2019. The gradual lifting of the lockdown also made bookshops a key cultural outlet, as cinemas and museums remained closed. In this well-known bookshop in central Toulouse, hopes are high that the change will last. The manager says she's seen a lot of new faces in her store over the past few weeks.
Ils ont envie du coup de redécouvrir des choses, ils ont envie de conseils, ils ont envie de savoir ce qui se passe en littérature contemporaine, ils ont envie de lire des essais, et donc ça c'est, je dirais presque une nouvelle clientèle parce que c'était des gens qui avaient un peu disparu, et ça c'est une vraie bonne surprise.
Both new and regular readers who enjoy spending time inside a bookstore rather than ordering online.
Il y a un conseil, il y a un avis, il y a des gens qui ont aimé.
On furette, on tourne autour des tables, on prend le livre, on le retourne.
La librairie, c'est un cœur vivant. Internet, c'est pas un cœur vivant.
Each year, as many books are sold online as they are in stores. But this could mark the start of a new chapter for bookshops.
Finally, a show here in Paris is bringing the glossy pages of Harpers Bazaar to life. After it hit the newsstands in 1867 as the world's first fashion magazine, Harper's became synonymous with avant-garde, era-defining style and was shaped by the aesthetic input of Man Ray, Salvador Dali and Andy Warhol over the years. That legacy is now being explored at the Museum of Decorative Arts here in Paris with outfits from their archive, photography and key design pieces. If you're in the city, do go and check it out. Well, remember you can get more arts and culture on our website. We're also on social media and there's more news coming up on France 24 just after this.
Haile Selassie, the last emperor of Ethiopia, considered as the Black Messiah by the Rastafari, who died in 1975, has left a deep impression on his country.
Les relations internationales et relations africaines sous la direction de l'empereur, c'était vraiment remarquable.
If the Negus was the inspiration behind the African Union, which since his reign has been based in Addis Ababa and which regularly pays homage to him, he has also left a darker legacy. Between his supporters and those who fear the return of an autocratic regime, Haile Selassie's legacy remains divisive. Don't miss the Negus Empire Revisited on France 24 and France24.com.